Welcome, everybody, to an episode of Pixels Politics. I'm your host, Dougie, my co host, Bray. It's episode 55 of season 2. And this is our second follow up on the Epstein files. This is going to be a quick episode. We're just going to cover two politicians who are making the rounds in the news, and some of the others we'll talk about too, as having direct relations to Jeffrey Epstein while he was a known pedophile. And during the big episode where we covered the deep dive, we found out how involved this guy was in politicians' lives across the globe. I mean, Obama, fucking president of France keeps coming up. Macron, that guy comes up a lot. No one's talking about that.
I think they're afraid of his wife.
I'm scared of his wife too, to be honest.
Yeah.
May or may not have had some people killed. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, Jeffrey Epstein, from what we saw, was playing a very pivotal role in foreign policy across the globe through multiple politicians. And we now have two direct links to two senators. And not only, it's so scandalous, it should be the only thing people are talking about until they both step down, if I'm being honest. And I'm kind of in shock that that's not what's happening. So we'll start with Tracy. What's her name? Tracy starts with a P. Plaskett. She is I believe she's a Democratic senator for
not just any Democratic senator. The Democratic senator for the Virgin Islands.
For the Virgin Islands.
Which you know where those islands.
Okay.
Starting to make sense now, isn't it?
I didn't put that together, but you know what? It does make a lot of sense now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you want to go ahead?
This video really demonstrates how involved Epstein was in just being just a straight puppet master. Just a straight puppet master. Literally telling people what to say, when to say it, how to say it, what to talk about, why they're talking about it. And he just, like, Plaskett, and you'll see it in the video, Plaskett's literally in the middle of a congressional hearing. And he messages her in the middle of the congressional hearing and says, I want you to mention this. I want you to talk about this. And Plaskett does what he says. And I'll play the video here.
I don't think there's audio, so we'll have to kind of vocalize.
There is.
Is there? Okay.
Yeah, there's audio.
They don't read the text messages out loud, though.
Oh, you get to hear her read it. You get to hear her while she's looking at her phone. It shows you the text messages during which time.
Yeah, but
so the first message.
Yeah.
The first message was sent from Jeffrey Epstein on February 27th, 2019 at 7:41:42 a.m. And the message is, "Are you chewing?"
What does that mean? Like, literally?
Because she's chewing. He's watching.
From where? Oh, I guess it was probably live streamed. They usually live stream stuff.
Yeah, on C-SPAN.
And while we were once driving through a struggling neighborhood in Chicago.
And then the text she replied with 2 minutes later is, "Not anymore."
He commented.
Can you pause? Sorry, I know we're so at the very beginning, but even that in itself should show you how much of a control freak he kind of was, right? Are you chewing? Like, this guy, and she's scared of him, right? She's like, not anymore.
Well, no, not anymore. I spit it out.
Not anymore. Yeah. Like, even that in itself, just that small little interaction should tell you a lot. It really should. Sorry, keep going. I just wanted to point that out.
Could live that way.
Yeah, she says, "Not anymore."
Attorney-client.
The next text message is a few hours later, and he says, Cohen brought up Rona, keeper of the secrets, and Rona is Trump's executive assistant at the time. And I'll let it continue.
I will turn it over.
You, as my friend Mr. Meadows pointed out, misled this committee even today in a written submission that contradicted your testimony.
And she replies at 11:25, "Rona? Question mark? Question mark?"
Okay, don't pause it again. Pause it again.
Yeah.
It's again. I'm gonna harp on this pretty hard. Again, it's wild that she doesn't know that information that you just said. Who is this guy?
Executive assistant for Trump.
Executive assistant to Trump. She doesn't know who that is. Jeffrey Epstein does, and he's gonna. Like, dude.
Let you know, yeah.
Literally just...
Yep. He's the puppeteer. He's the puppeteer.
Did you review? Are you going to review it in our next break to correct the record?
Yes or no? He replies, or she replies, she says, she follows up with, "Quick, I'm up next. Is that an acronym?"
No idea.
You helped out the president's campaign. or
She doesn't
were
even know.
involved in
This
the
is
meetings
your
represented
senator.
as a spokesman, even in your words today. It was
That's
your
his
idea for the
assistant. He
campaign
replies at
dating back to
11:26.
2011. Is that accurate? Yes or no?
Yes.
Mr. Weisenberg and other individuals, Ms.
You can see how she's about to make a statement here based on what has just occurred between her text messages with Epstein.
Rona. Who are those individuals? Are they with the Trump organization?
They
and
are.
Are there other people that we should be meeting with?
So Alan Weisselberg is the chief financial officer.
Uh-huh.
The
You got to
Trump
quickly give us
organization?
as many names as you can so we can get to them.
Yes, ma'am.
Is Ms. Rona, what is Ms. Rona's position?
Rona Graff is the Mr. Trump's executive assistant.
And would she be able to corroborate many of the statements that you've made here?
Yes, her office is directly next to his.
Good work sent by Jeffrey Epstein, 11:34. Good job, puppet.
Gotta pat the dog on the head. Good job,
Yeah,
doggy.
pat the dog on the head.
Good
Yep.
job.
Yep. He's like, geez, I can't believe I have to do all this work.
I mean, like, dude, he's hand-holding, micromanaging a U.S. senator. And if he's managing someone who, I mean, most of us probably didn't even know who this lady was, right? This small,
yeah.
like, you can just
Like-
imagine people at the top, right? The very
Yeah.
top. We have messages with him giving advice to Obama. I don't know why that's not spreading around on the mainstream networks either.
Maybe it's
but
because it's more expected at this point. I don't know.
maybe no, I'm pretty sure it's very intentional. They just don't want us to know, or they don't want most people
I mean,
to
yeah,
know
that too.
how,
that too.
how many.
But it's pretty crazy how much of a hand he had, and just such a think about how small of an
Small thing.
interaction this is, and think about how many other interactions he's probably had control over.
I mean, we showed it. He literally gave the leading advice for the interference we had in Syria.
Yeah,
The new
100%.
Syrian, I can't remember, the new Syrian government took over, and he was like, "Yeah, that's not good. You guys need to do something about it.
yeah.
This is
And
the
then there's
optics are
also-
going to play."
There's also this where he's talking to this is an email I found when I was looking through the files where he's talking to Andre Serrano, who's an artist, quote unquote artist, and he says, "This is from Andre. Jeffrey, I was prepared to vote against Trump for all the right reasons, but I'm so disgusted by the outrage over grabbing by the pussy that I may give him my sympathy vote. I'm sure Bill Clinton said things too," which is pretty wild. So essentially, Andre is saying, after he heard Trump make a derogatory statement about women, he said, "I may give him my sympathy vote now."
What the hell?
Yeah. And then Jeffrey replied with, "No good choice. How are you?" And then he says, "Either one, I guess. I just came back from Ireland when I have a show called Torture." And I'm going to pull up one of his art pieces from the show Torture.
Oh Lord. Okay.
Yeah. Where he recreates torture that was done by the American military over in the Middle East to some of their detainees. Then Jeffrey replies with great photos, and then says they're huge by Andre. Pretty crazy stuff.
Again,
Pretty crazy stuff.
okay. I'm gonna get a little conspiracy theory here.
Yeah.
I find it extremely hard to believe that one man was doing all this. I'm just going to say it, okay? Listen,
Yeah.
I don't have any basis for this other than I find it extremely wild that this guy was so intelligent in so many fields, had his hands in so many pockets, his money also just in so many different businesses. I find it so hard to believe he had that much time. Listen, I don't want to get crazy, and again, it's a
I mean,
conspiracy.
to be fair, Doug, you're
Yeah.
rich. You don't drink or smoke because you didn't drink, smoke, or do any drugs at all. You exercise every day. You pretty much don't need to do anything because you're retired and you have all this money. You chill on an island where you blackmail people using illegally trafficked minors. I mean, he probably has a shit ton of free time.
I know, but
Well, I'll counterpoint to
this
that.
guy's on 24/7. We saw him messaging every single reporter, every single defense attorney, every
Do you
single
think
politician.
other people were given access to like his
I-
accounts and his phone numbers?
Yes, look, okay, I'll just say it. I think this is a front for a lot more I don't know. A lot more people. I think a lot more people are involved. I'll just say that much. And we're also playing correspondent to what was going on. I know it sounds a little bit much. This is some you shit. This is not coming from me. But even the tone kind of changes depend on who he's messaging. And
I mean, it's possible. He handed Ghislaine the phone and told her, "Hey, I need you to handle the situation."
Look, you're not wrong. I think it's very, like I said, this is conspiratorial, 100%. I just want to put it out there because it's just weird. It's just weird. This guy is getting so much attention and he has so many lines to so many people across so many cultures. You know what I mean? Like,
exactly.
I don't have any proof of it. I don't. I have zero proof that he was more than one person or that this account was more than one person. But I just have that feeling. I can't confirm or deny it. However,
I mean, also to be fair, Doug, we've only seen a fraction
I know.
of everything. And like, one congressional hearing where he's involved may not be the end-all be-all that he was involved in everyone, but at least that's right.
I think a combination with everything we've seen so far, from Obama to Clinton to this woman,
I think it really
Macron.
says something, though. Like, when information like this comes out and Trump doesn't say anything about it, it's like, you're like, if you're not saying anything about it, I think that kind of just proves that either you don't care or you're in on it too.
Well, they have been.
I mean?
In his defense and their defense, they have been. They've just all been going back and forth on it.
Yeah.
I mean, his line nonstop has been, it's not a me thing. It's a Democrat. It's a Democrat problem. He's been. They've kind of been railing them on social media, which I mean, I don't know. Like, okay, that's great, but I just don't understand how nobody else is talking about it. Like, how are we still going to allow this woman? Like, why are there not mass calls for her to step down? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And this is while he's a known pedo. Like, it's known at this time. And she's literally getting direct, I don't even know what to call it, commands from this guy. Like, how do you justify this as A, one of her voters, B, one of her party members, just C, as a human being? Like, how do you justify it? Like, in itself, that should be enough to take her down. No, she's totally cool with it. I mean, hold up. There's an interview that she had. I wanted to send it. Wait, hopefully this is it, actually. And, they've kind of been asking her about it. Oh, sorry, that's not it. That's something else. Let me see. Should have come more prepared, but Tracy. She was on, like, CNN or something, and oh my god. What is her name? Just type in her name. It should pop up.
This chick?
No. The chick we were just watching. The
Plaskett.
Plaskett, yeah, her. This is like the most we've gotten from it is an interview. Oh, so first they tried to censor her in Congress, which is like it's a slap. It's a slap on the hand. That's what it is. Yeah. And this is what really pisses me off. Is not only did Democrats say that, nah, it's fine, but some Republicans also said that it was fine, which should tell you everything you need to know about how many pockets this guy had his hand in. She can't be the only one. I don't know how anyone can look at this, again, even as her fellow congressman, congresswoman, and not be like, wow, this is some disgusting shit. Anybody who said that she shouldn't be censored for it, which is really just a slap on the hand again, it's not really anything, I would immediately investigate him.
I'm going to go a step further, Doug. She needs to be guillotined out in the street. She needs to be guillotined out in the street. We need to just start setting an example here. We ain't fucking around. We can't let these people keep getting away with this shit. This dude's a known pedophile, and you have people in Congress that are literally listening to his every whim.
Yeah.
You're getting executed. You're getting executed in the public street in front of your friends and family. That's what needs to happen.
The next guy we're going to talk about did more than just take his advice. There's a good chance this guy was on his hands and knees begging him for money. And it's Hakeem Jeffries.
Oh, God. This guy. Wasn't he the previous mayor?
He's currently a senator. He might be a mayor. I don't know. He's currently like the Senate minority leader or something.
Oh.
Yeah. And so we have this. Yeah.
Dear Jeff, we were thrilled to announce that we were working, this is 2013, that we are working with Congressman Hakeem Jeffries, one of the rising stars in the New York congressional delegation, sometimes referred to as Brooklyn's Barack. He's a staunch supporter of President Obama and a progressive voice for the people of New York City. I did a profile piece about his work on the vitally important budget and judiciary committees in Washington. You can watch the video here, read the text below. Blah, blah, blah. He's elected to leading a Democratic majority in 2014, encouraging friends to participate at a dinner. Give us a call, blah, blah, blah. He's an impressive guy and will be a progressive voice in New York politics for years to come. Thanks. Darren Vigor, Lisa Rossi, and Walter Sweat. And yeah. So he's getting messages like this from, he's not even a politician. He's not even an officially elected politician. He's receiving emails like this about the Democratic Party and their constituents.
Hold on. I have more. He was invited over for dinner. This is all after Jeffries, been tried, and it's known that he's a pedo.
Yeah. Yeah, and you can see the comments. Epstein list could have, yeah. It's just like he does need to be tried at this point, but Plaskett needs to be tried. And it's just like
any of them.
Yeah. You got these weird fucking things from Trump. It's like I think about it, this makes a lot of sense why fucking Epstein would call him, borderline insane after he writes something like this. You know what I mean?
I don't know. This is currently on trial for whether or not it's real. So
who has the time to come up with this shit? Who has the time?
Now you're inserting my conspiracy theory. I don't know. And we have 50,000 more of these files that are going to come out. 50,000 more.
Files. There's something that's annoying me about the files, Doug. And I looked through a bunch of them the other day, and as I was going through them, I would find 3, 4, sometimes 5 copies of the same email that I've already read. Why am 30,000 emails? How many of those emails are actually legitimate? How many of those emails are actually fucking legitimate? Because it's like, I look through all of them, and I get copies of the same fucking emails. It's like, dude, how am I? Like, there's no way they didn't bloat the fucking thing up with a bunch of pointless copies. And there's no way they didn't do it. Because I'm sitting there clicking through them like, I just saw that 5 minutes ago.
It could be that there was more than one agency collecting it, and they just kind of dumped it all.
So you think they pulled
it
from like Microsoft email, they pulled it from Google email and Apple email, and just
maybe
consolidated all of it? That's kind of lazy.
Yeah, I mean, it's the government. I sincerely doubt anything they do is efficient at all. But I would also, assume that it's intentional. They wanted to bloat it up. It sounds good if they can make it 20,000 and then say, Trump had to do with 5,000 of them.
Yeah.
It makes them look good.
This is true. You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
The
no country can survive being,
The funny one here that is kind of making its rounds now. So the House is subpoenaing
Yeah.
Chase. And if you remember when we were going through, we found out he was in contact with Jamie Dimon, who is the CEO of Chase. Click on the last link I sent you, or the one before. Ron Wilden, blah, blah, blah. So he's currently being subpoenaed. So they think that the CEO of Chase Bank, he was often referred to as JD in some of the emails we were following.
To be fair to the executive here, not saying that he's completely innocent at all. When it comes to certain foreign intelligence agencies, it's either you take the money or you die.
I mean, we could throw that excuse to all of them, right?
Not necessarily. I think some people were pawns, less important pieces that they wouldn't really care whether or not they, were on their side or not, right? Like Plaskett, they probably wouldn't have wasted time assassinating her. What purpose? Whatever. You don't have control over Virgin Islands, right?
She wouldn't have even reached, that level of effort needed to control her. Let's be honest.
But the executive, the Chase executive or JP Morgan, and they need someone to anonymously wired funds to certain accounts without anyone's knowledge. Yeah, I mean, you kind of have to kill that guy if he doesn't respond to your request, right?
Either
I feel like
way,
that makes sense.
he's being subpoenaed. They're investigating it, and more than likely, I'm sure they'll find something because
Did you? Yeah.
the emails kind of showed that they were corresponding a lot. And I don't even necessarily know that this guy was doing the pedo stuff. I'm sure he was just happy to make a lot of money off Jeffrey.
Probably. It was
So-
probably, but either way, it's still scummy. But once again, I do understand if their life is threatened. There was another guy, Larry Summers. We talked about him a lot.
we spent a lot of time talking about Larry.
He recently just resigned as director of Harvard, which is pretty crazy.
He was the director of Harvard,
Yeah.
and he was on the OpenAI board of directors. What the and
Yeah.
Larry Summers lived with Jeffrey, apparently. Like, they were fucking bunk mates. So, again,
Yeah.
why isn't he in prison? Like, why?
Yeah. He needs to be in prison.
Like, it's ridiculous, guys. It's so ridiculous. Larry Summers, yeah. He came out. He had like a little speech where he said, "I'm so sorry, blah, blah, blah." Dude, I can't. I think you're right. The guillotine needs to come out. This is ridiculous.
Yeah.
I just, at some
And then
point...
he's asking Epstein for fucking advice with women. I think it's hilarious, too.
That's pretty funny.
You can kind of see the email exchange here.
Oh, yeah, we read this on the show, didn't we?
No, it was a different one, but it's pretty much the same. You get the gist of it. He's the guy, Larry Summers is insecure because he can't get laid, and he's asking Epstein for help. It's actually pretty funny that the people at the top are actually the incels.
Yeah, it's kind of
They
sad.
always try to make it seem like the basement dwellers are the incels, but it's kind of funny. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, the amount of people here who are just implemented off of how many files did we read? A couple hundred, maybe? Off of them alone? Insane.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and they actually had Larry Summers talking in class. Here's the video of it. Your POV or Harvard professor opens class for recognizing he's in the Epstein files.
Wild.
My statement of regret, expressing my shame with respect to what I did in communication with Mr. Epstein, and that I've said that I'm going to step back from public activities, but for a time, but I think it's very important to fulfill my teaching obligations. And so, with your permission, we're going to go forward.
What
Like,
the
yeah, I know.
fuck?
Yeah, I know I was involved with Epstein, the guy who like sex trafficked like a bunch of, underage, children, but I think it's pretty chill if I just like sit here and teach you guys, right? Like totally chill. Are we all chill? Is everyone gonna be chill about
How
this?
can you sit there and like listen to that as a student? I'd walk out like, yeah, guys, hey, it's totally chill. Look, all I did was send some emails with the guy, which we know is a fucking lie. Larry Summers was one of the people who spent the most amount of time on the island with Jeffrey. You guys okay if I just sit here and teach? I'm gonna step down after. Be all right if I just sit here and teach you? How does someone? It's
Like,
again.
I'm so ashamed. But guys, I still have to do my teaching job. You know how it is. Got to make that money still. You know what I'm saying? Even though I already have like a huge mansion over in Los Angeles. But who cares about that, right? I still got to do my teaching job, right? Any girls want to stay after class for like a
It's so crazy. I still can't believe he was a director of Harvard and the board of OpenAI. How do you end up on both? Doesn't that seem like a conflict of interest a little bit?
Oh, 100%.
Like, what?
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Like, once again, like this is a dude who had like untold amount of communication with Jeffrey Epstein. He's a right-hand man, best buddy, sitting there on the island with him. And he's like, yeah, I still think I have the right to teach these kids that I could have potentially molested back in the day. You know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah.
What the fuck? No, dude.
I don't know. It should go to show how comfortable all three of them are, right?
Oh, yeah.
All three of them are so comfortable they think they can do a YouTube apology video. Actually, I've seen YouTube apology videos be more serious than that, you know?
Yeah.
And
have
more repercussions. This guy
He
is
just needs a ukulele.
Yeah, exactly. Zero pushback, zero follow-up, zero care in the world. This guy can just retire rich. He's going to go sit on his little mansion and fucking think about the good old days for the rest of his life. Just a few more people who are involved. Catherine Rumler, which
Yeah.
former White House counsel to Obama. We saw some of her messages to Jeffrey. I don't think she was peddling kids, but that's how she served as the connector when it came to political advice from Jeffrey to Obama. The former Prime Minister of Israel, Ehud Barak, who I think we've covered twice now. His name came up before. I can't remember for something similar. Oh, that's right. A woman came out recently and accused him of raping her when she was a teen. So, I mean, there we go.
Trump got tried for rape in '94. Never got nothing ever happened to him or Epstein. Probably because he was involved with Epstein.
Was he convicted?
No, he wasn't convicted.
Oh, okay.
When you have enough lawyers to tie him up in legal fees the entire time, and completely annul the fact that a criminal proceeding is supposed to be occurring, then kind of easy at that point, right?
I don't know. Somebody was saying, I saw something that was saying it was a scandal, blah, blah, blah. I haven't looked into it, so I'm not going to go ahead and give my opinion. But,
yeah.
I mean, I don't know. This guy's a known connection with Epstein. Some women come out and say that when they were teens, he abused them. I don't know. Should be very obvious what's going on, right, guys? Former Prime Minister of Israel. Hello.
Yeah, no. These people all need to be in jail or dead. One of those two.
Bill Richardson, former governor of New Mexico and former U.S. ambassador to the UN. This one came from Virginia Gulf, or I can't remember her name.
Virginia Guffrey.
Guffrey, thank you.
Guffrey.
So she was the most outspoken, I'd say, and they fucking lynched her.
Oh yeah. Double suicide with 2 shotgun shells in the back of the throat with a a Kool-Aid jammed inside.
So sad. I cannot believe. I'm not gonna. I hate the Trump, the Republican v Democrat thing. So this is the one for Trump that's the most damning for me. And apparently we got pushback for me saying it. But I'm gonna say it again. This woman who is one of the most outspoken, was one of the most outspoken survivors, actually gives names, by the way. One of the few survivors who's brave enough to give names, exonerates Trump, says she's never going to kill herself, kills herself. I put in quotation marks for you Spotify viewers, listeners.
Yeah. And
then Trump just shrugged his shoulders. I got so much pushback for that. I have no problem saying it again. Fuck you. That's disgusting behavior. And this woman, I don't know. It's just depressing because, again, she was actually brave enough to come out and say names and paid the price for it.
Exactly. That's what happens when you speak out. And there's a picture of her with Prince Andrew when she was underage.
Jesus. So here's another thing. I'm going to kind of slip into some conspiracy territory here, but Prince Andrew, before those 20,000 files were released on, I think it was Wednesday or Thursday, before we covered it, a bunch of executives started stepping down. Was it Prince Andrews who lost his titles?
Yeah,
Prince Andrews lost his titles, and a lot of people quit their job all of a sudden. A lot of rich fuckers went into the shadows. And I'm not saying those two things are connected, but I am finding it extremely interesting, that all of these events took place where they were stripping titles and CEOs were stepping down right before the files got released, which clearly says that they knew ahead of time. But also, before these next files get released, the markets are slumping really hard, and a lot of rich people, ultra rich people, are liquidating their funds. I find that extremely interesting that these rich people are liquidating their funds before the next files come out.
Yeah.
Just saying it out loud. I'm not, hey, the market's the market, but I'm watching a lot of Bitcoin whales sell all of their Bitcoin, watching a lot of holders of major stocks sell all their stocks, and for no really, apparent reason.
Oh yeah.
Right before the files come out.
There's a reason, but they don't want to. They don't want to talk about it. They don't want to talk about it.
Of course not.
No.
I mean, it's just ridiculous. It really is. And even the Clintons, even the Clintons are just mentioned so many times in those files. It is absolutely atrocious. And it should be the only thing anyone saw. This should be the biggest scandal in U.S. history. Just off what
World
we have.
history.
Well, I don't know about world history, but maybe.
I don't know, world history. Like think about China. When was the last time China had a politician that was manipulating and puppeteering all the other politicians underneath a giant racketeering, illegal sex trafficking ring that was being done on an island on Chinese soil?
I mean, they
Like,
don't. So I was thinking about this today,
yeah,
and it's kind of sad, but sex trafficking in other countries is so extremely common. It's something they don't even think about. Like in Eastern Europe, that's where they
yeah,
get a lot of their women to traffic. They kidnap them in
yeah,
hotels, ship them around. In Southeast
yeah,
Asia, it is super common, and I mean, in most countries, the age of the legal age is also just a lot lower. So
yeah.
most of the Asian countries have what they call pleasure squads. I thought this was unique to North Korea. It is not unique to North Korea. It is actually a South Korean thing, a Japanese thing, a Chinese thing, and they have women who are they're basically just fucking highly trained prostitutes, but they're sex trafficked, of course. It's
Mm,
extremely common. So they don't need to use it for blackmail because it's acceptable in most of the world. It's not really acceptable here, which is why it's such a big scandal. But it's either the age.
basic human decency is isn't something you find all around the world.
I know, isn't it
That's
sad?
pretty
Like
crazy.
I know
That's
I
pretty
thought about
crazy.
today, and I was just like, in most of Europe, the age is what, like 14 to 16. Most of Southeast
Yeah.
Asia, it's similar. The Middle East. I mean, is that even a thing? Um,
No, they don't care.
No, they don't care at all. And even in South America, I mean, the legal age is the legal age, but they don't have any real way to enforce it. And the kind of cultural normalities that take place
Yeah.
in a lot of these, third and second world countries. I mean,
Mm.
this is a nothing burger to them. This is just normal.
Oh
It
yeah.
really is. So like, a lot of people say, "Oh, he's blackmailing all these people." Yeah, he kind of was blackmailing, but at the same time, it's really just the American politicians you need to blackmail.
Yeah.
I mean, it's,
You know, now that,
it's sad to say, but yeah,
now that you mention it, it's like what Epstein was doing was probably pretty common over at
yeah,
the royal crown prince over at the Middle East, right?
yeah,
Or even China. It maybe even in China, probably, right? It's like,
yeah.
oh yeah, I guess what's his name? Hong Jong-chu was fucking had an island over off the coast of Taiwan, which is
Completely
still
normal.
China,
They don't even
and
need an
was
island. They do it right there in their palaces. I mean, like, especially for China, it's
yeah,
it's the women aren't equivalent. It just is what it is. You say that's just how they think. And to be honest, it's somewhat a norm for females to get harassed in most
yeah,
countries outside the US and outside the West in general, but that's just how it is. It's not there is no reporting it. It's not what's going on.
yeah.
As a woman in outside Western countries, you're expected to that's an expected thing to happen to you, which is disgusting. I'm not trying to promote it, obviously.
Yeah, yeah.
But I don't know. That's just how it is. And Trump said the quiet part out loud, actually, when the South Korean president was over here in the U.S. He was visiting. He literally said that, "Oh, I like having meetings with you guys, but all you guys ever talk about," he's talking about the Japanese prime minister, not the new
Yeah.
one, obviously, but
Yeah.
the old one, and the South Korean president. He was like, "I like having meetings with you guys. However, whenever we have meetings, all you want to talk about is your pleasure squads." And so this practice of these politicians, running around with prostitutes all day long and sex trafficked victims, it's common practice outside the U.S. In the U.S., every time we know it happens, but every time it comes out, we're like, "Oh, Pikachu face." Not saying, again,
Yeah.
we should be pressuring them to stop. Obviously, we should be lynching them. Okay,
Oh yeah.
but I'm just
I think
saying, outside the U.S. and outside the West, it's far more common thing. This wouldn't be a scandal. The men would be
no.
clapping for them. Like,
Yeah, that is kind of weird though. Like,
right?
all right, Mr. Trump, we got to get together and talk about the foreign policy or whatever. But first, Sung Yi. That was a nice hot bitch you brought in here the other day.
Yeah.
Pretty nice one if I do say so myself. And Sung Yi's just like, well, no. Your women were far hotter than mine. Yes, yes. And then Trump's just sitting there like, yes, I've grabbed enough pussy in my lifetime. I don't need to talk about it right now. We can do it. Save it for later. Save it for later. We got to talk about foreign policy. Let's focus, shits. But
Yeah.
first, Did you see my secretary's ass?
I think it says a lot about politicians in general. And
Yeah.
like connecting that to this, it's where these guys are elected because they're charming, pretty, they're they're just saying the right things. Most of them are actors, and then when they get into office, they are told by their advisors what to do. And that's that's kind
Yeah.
of what I mean by you don't usually have to blackmail them. They don't care. They just want money and sex, and they just get it when they're in that position. They're not going to do their research. They're just going to text Jeffrey Epstein, "Hey, I'm in the middle of a congressional hearing. What should I say?" And I imagine that's actually super commonplace, and I think that is a bigger core scandal once you figure out who Jeffrey Epstein is getting his orders from, right?
Yeah.
Big surprise on who it will be. Take a
I mean, I
guess
think
in the
it's like
comments.
it's like the kernel level for a computer, right? You got your kernel level 4, your kernel level 3, your kernel level 2, your kernel level 1, and then kernel level 0, right?
Yeah.
And once you get to kernel level 0, you kind of just you have access to everything, but it's not necessarily a smaller part of the computer, but it's a part of the computer, right? But I think there's probably a handful of people that were probably operating under Jeffrey's name and using their power and their leverage to gain control of Congress, the Senate, the House, in whatever way they saw fit. And now that it's a lot of the cat's out of the bag, it's kind of like I wonder how all these old fogies are going to deal with the outlash that's going to be occurring continuously. I mean, think about it. The Epstein thing was 6 years ago. 6 years ago. Under federal investigation, assumed to have committed suicide. He didn't. They got a squad in there and they got him out, right? Because he's a foreign intelligence asset, quote unquote. But he's alive, and 6 years later, we're still dealing with the fallout.
It's
Isn't
so
that
much.
crazy?
I don't know. I mean, yeah, this is
There's a kid out there who was 12 years old when Jeffrey Epstein got arrested, and now he's graduating from high school.
Yeah.
And the Jeffrey Epstein thing is still not done. Isn't that crazy? It's like talking about the Casey Anthony case for like a decade. You know what I mean? It's so
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah, I don't know. I saw a lot of people say that same thing, where they were like, "Oh, why are we still talking about this?"
I mean, it's important, right? It's important.
Yeah.
But
Well, yeah, because this guy didn't go anywhere in the sense that how many people were ready to fill the vacuum, right? How many of these congressmen? Here's the question: does this woman? I keep forgetting her name.
Yeah.
Plinkett. Does this woman all of a sudden? Do you think she became an independent thinker?
No.
I sincerely fucking doubt it. I'm sure she's still getting orders from somebody somewhere.
Yeah.
I don't know who it
puppets
is.
work.
Right,
They
exactly.
need a puppeteer to function.
Yeah.
And
there's
it's like
Yeah, go ahead.
when a nuke goes off, you can't inhabit the land for decades afterwards. This is the same situation. A nuke went off in 2019, and we are still dealing with the fallout
True.
and the reconstruction and moving through the nuclear waste.
Especially because they
And the
don't
reality-
do anything about it.
Exactly. It's been the American people have had to constantly talk this up, email our representatives, talk to our leaders, get community support for these issues against Epstein. And it's like,
They don't
how
care.
much more? And they don't care because it's about the money. Once they have the money, they just don't care. They have their rock. They got it. They got their rock taken care of. They don't need to worry about the little man anymore. It doesn't matter to them anymore until it affects them. And now it's starting to affect them.
Yeah.
So now you're probably going to see politicians that are like, I don't think I'm going to have a job if I keep my mouth shut or if I keep supporting.
There's only 2 people in Congress, by the way, who are actually trying to get this pushed and get the knowledge out there. Can you name them? You can name at least one of them.
MTG and Thomas Massey.
You named both of them. Yep. Those are the only 2, and their voices are being pushed, as into the back as far as possible. Because,
they have not taken any hush money. They have not had any correspondence with Epstein. They're the only 2 people right now that are trying to work for the little man.
Yeah.
They're the only one. This isn't about Republican or Democrat. It doesn't matter that they're both Republican. These are the only
Thomas
2 people that are
Massey
speaking
is
out against the issue.
independent. I think he's independent. I don't think he's.
I thought he was Republican.
You might be right, but I think he's independent.
Thomas Massey, Republican? Let's see. Yeah, member of the Republican Party.
Okay,
Yep.
gotcha.
They killed his wife.
Did they really?
They killed his wife. They killed Thomas Massey's wife, and he ain't too happy about it. But I'm sure, and when you think about it, he's not able to say anything about it, right? He's not really able to talk a whole lot about it. But that's the reality, is that his wife was killed. And he's had to grieve alone. You can see, the pictures of him before and after his wife died. He's a different person entirely. And he's not afraid to sacrifice his life for the country.
Wow.
I'm convinced. Yeah, I'm 100% convinced at this point. He is on his quote unquote villain arc, and he's ready to do whatever it takes to take him down. So
Damn.
he's the only person that you can really trust. I think a Thomas Massey and MTG ticket would be the best, healthiest thing for this country if they manage to survive the process.
I say two things. One of them that kind of annoys me. Both have come out and said that if these next files, if the files are so redacted that they don't show the names of the perpetrators, then they would come out and say names. And B, the victims have come out and said, we don't care if our names are redacted or not. So they keep pushing this narrative. This is the narrative. This is Pam Bondi's, push forward
Bullshit.
here. Yeah. And it's really starting to fucking piss me off a bit, not gonna lie. But they keep saying, oh, well, we gotta hide the victims' names. That's why we're redacting this stuff. Well, we know from when we've looked at it that they're redacting more than just the victims' names. Like, it's not even fucking close,
Like we saw it all the time on the fucking Epstein emails. Privileged, redacted. What the fuck do you mean privileged?
Yeah.
Privileged? Yeah, you're a privileged bitch. Show us the fucking info.
It's insane. I mean, it was most of them. It was most of them a correspondent, other than someone who is already known connected, was blocked out or just whited out.
Yeah, you can tell that these things were redacted multiple times because you have redactions that would just be thin black boxes. Then you have redactions that'd be white boxes that said privilege redacted. It's like, so you mean to tell me you guys sent this through like 3 or 4 different redaction processes?
There was one comparing a redacted version and an unredacted version, and literally the only reason it was redacted was to make Trump look worse. That's the whole reason. It didn't have any names or anything. They just wanted to implicate Trump in a place that there was no reason to implicate him in.
Exactly.
And I cannot fathom as a human. Again, it shouldn't surprise me, right? They're politicians, they're crooked people, but I just could not fathom as a human being that you just got told, hey, you need to make this, you need to warp the context of this to make it look bad for the other guy, and you as a human being are like, yeah, here's some sex trafficking emails. I'm going to go ahead and do that. Instead of caring about the victims and shit, I'm just go ahead and redact this for you to make, Trump look bad, my political opponent look bad. That is so insane. And yet, clearly, it is so common. And beyond that, minus the right versus left shit, they were just redacting, names of famous people. Yeah, whatever they could. Yeah. If it was anyone who wasn't already under investigation or well-known, they redacted it. They redacted the name.
Yeah, I mean, we're looking at a bunch of old money right now. I want some of the people that are a bit younger. I want some of the people in their 40s that are still involved with some of this shit. I don't want the old money. I want the younger money that we have to deal with. That's what I
think. I think there's a new system of control for the younger folk.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's TikTok. Maybe it's TikTok and 6-7 and.
I think it has a lot. I think sex trafficking has gone mainstream, and it's been streamlined through social media technology like TikTok. I think it works a lot like this. A senator picks up a phone, they go on TikTok, whatever. They really like watching the dancing girls. One of those dancing girls who's underage, messages them, right?
Yeah.
And then says, hey, they do the classic, what was the show where they try to catch Predator, the classic, text messaging each other.
Entrapment, yeah.
Yeah, eventually Hakeem Jeffries sends a picture of his penis, and then they're like, okay, we got you. I think it's been I think it's been streamlined to an insane degree. And it's actually got me so paranoid that sometimes when I get messages, I'm like, are you an agent? Are you trying to entrap me? You know what I'm saying?
Okay, yes, then I definitely want to meet for sexual relations.
Yeah, I think they've gone so mainstream with it. I mean, we talk
Yeah.
about people getting spied on all the time on our show. It's like a fucking daily thing at this point, right? Through all the technologies. I think at this point, they're like, they send that message like, "Hey, I'm a teen girl. You want to fucking send nudes with each other?" And then and then the senator sends a picture of his penis, and then they just fucking send a picture of him in his room, just completely naked. It's 3D mapped using the Wi-Fi. They have like all the different images coming from everywhere.
6 consoles.
Yeah, exactly. All of his technologies lighting up at one time. The face pops up on the screen. We got you, bitch.
Yeah, he sends a picture of his dick. They respond with, "This your room?
Yeah.
This your cat?"
Yeah, I think at this point it's been so streamlined using modern technology that they don't even need an Epstein type. And we played that clip of Tim Burchett. Do you remember Tim Burchett? We played a clip of him, and he was talking to, I want to say it's Tucker Carlson, about how the old school sex trafficking rings worked, where you're a senator, you're in Turkey or whatever, and a hot girl comes up to you, she's flirting, you feel good about yourself, she takes you home, da 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 da, and then they just you get a fucking letter in the mail, and that's it, it's over for you. He was saying that happens all the time. He said that, we showed it, by the way, you can go back and watch some of our older videos to find it. He said that it was happening right there in Washington, D.C. He said that China, and they busted it. This was news for a little bit. China was running a blackmail ring right there in Washington, D.C. So, it's kind of funny because we talk about the conspiracy of Epstein blackmailing people. Like, oh, the secret island, he has to bring people in and bring them down to the dungeon. And I mean,
Well,
maybe...
the thing is, Doug, we only have 2 paths to restoring some sense of integrity. Either everyone just comes out and says, "We don't care what kind of heinous stuff you do as long as you improve the economy," and then they might not even give a fuck about the blackmail anymore, right? All these politicians might just say, "You don't control us anymore," right? Your blackmail is ineffective because the morality in the country has changed, right? To reflect, like the Eastern philosophy. Or we can be moral, we can be morally righteous and be like, let's kill every pedophile in the government.
True.
And that's kind of, people are kind of still on the fence about it. Like, I don't want to. Yeah.
Low key, the U.S. has to be the one to do it. As fucked up, the U.S. has to be, because dude, I was just thinking about it. Let's look at Macron, Emmanuel Macron of France, right? I was kind of trying not to harp on Europe a little bit because they should be a little more like us. However, look at Emmanuel Macron and who he's married to. His fucking high school teacher. Like, come on, dude. That's how mainstream it is. The literal president of the fucking country of France. Come on, brother. Like, again, I don't even think Jeffrey needed to bring these people. I'm sure maybe he probably did. I mean, I'm not saying he didn't. I'm sure they have tapes on everybody. I'm sure.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
However, what I'm saying is you didn't even need to do that. That's how easy it is to entrap the senators and the politicians. Right there in Washington, D.C. Send an underage girl into a bar, go and flirt with him. Such and such happens. You got it taped right from the hotel. Boom, that center's in your pocket. We know that was being done because it was busted by the Chinese, by the FBI. They knew it was being done by the Chinese. And we have Tim Burchett, who literally went on air and said it out loud. I mean, I don't know how much more do you need? How much more do you need? I don't know. I don't know how much more you need. I don't know. But personally,
something needs to change. Something needs to change.
Yeah. But it comes from the voters. Again, MTG and Thomas Massey should be front. Yeah. People should be hailing them as heroes at the moment as the only 2 people who don't have any connection to Jeffrey Epstein.
Yeah, despite MTG's cringy, walking out on the victims talking about
that wasn't her. That was Macy. That was the other chick, the one we keep thinking is trans and wasn't trans.
Oh my god, the one we got psyops into thinking she's trans.
Yeah,
I'm not forgiving Twitter for that one. I'm not forgiving Twitter for that one. Sorry, buddy.
Yeah. No, MTG, it's so funny. I didn't even like her past a certain point, like last year or something, and now I'm like, MTG. But MTG, Thomas Massey, seem to be the only 2 people who are really trying to push forward with it.
Yeah. your upcoming representatives, Thomas Massey and MTG, and it's just him with like a fucking Magic the Gathering deck bomb.
However, I will say I think both of them should have already came out with the names and said them out loud. Sorry, I
Yeah.
get it. They can go to jail. They can lose their position. Blah blah blah. I don't care. I think they should just come out and said it.
Thomas Massey is ready to go all out. Thomas Massey is ready to go all out. He just needs an excuse. He just needs a straight up excuse.
Like you said last episode, we were talking
Yeah.
about Mike Johnson. If he came out and
Yeah.
said the names, we would hail him as a hero. If either of these two came out and just started slamming them, bro, he's like Bill Gates, it's just Tom
Bill
Hanks,
Gates,
just started listing them all off back to
Woody
back.
Allen.
Woody Allen is the fucking low hanging fruit. That guy is rolling on the floor into your lap, dude.
Yeah.
What? Hey, go to jail for a little bit. We'll vote you in a presidency. Pardon yourself.
Yeah.
Please, man.
Exactly.
Any politician who knows something, just come out and say it. You will literally be hailed as a fucking hero.
What's so funny to me too is that Epstein called Trump like an idiot and borderline insane, but they still didn't want him having any sort of control. So they tried to fucking kill him like multiple times. But he's actually just an idiot, so he doesn't actually do anything important.
Oh, Trump?
Yeah, Trump, yeah.
I don't even know. I can't tell with that guy. I can't tell. People call him the like a trap setter or something, because he like pretends that he doesn't want the Epstein files to come out, so then the Democrats go and push for it. And then he's like,
he's not that smart. He's not that smart, dude.
Yeah, I don't think that's what's going on either. But I do think it's funny.
He's not the master. He's not a mastermind. He is the boomer parent that kind of sits down, watches golf all day, and then complains about the government, and then doesn't actually do anything about it other than tell people what to do.
He's done some of the bare minimums I expect. No.
I do think he's gotten worse as time has gone on, too.
Yeah, and I think it's because he's surrounded by the technocrats, and they're fucking like, oh no, we really need the H-1B visas. We need to import as many Chinese and Indians as possible. And he's just like, well, I mean, how am I going to tell every single high IQ person, around me that that's not true? And he's got like Scott Bassett, who's, I fucking can't stand the guy, to be honest with you. Also, telling him stupid shit about I think it's a very much Putin scenario where Putin was surrounded by his advisors who were like, yeah, dude, go into Ukraine. They'll hail you as a hero. And then he goes and does it, and, they all get fucking bombed into oblivion. I think it's the exact same thing. I think Trump was doing great at the start, and then he got surrounded by the advisors who were just telling him the wrong thing, and then we ended up in a situation where, we're importing more Chinese and Indians. What the freak? Fuck!
Yeah.
I spilled my coffee all over the place.
Yeah, you got those. I think that's gonna be it for me though, Doug.
Yeah, so we have 50,000 more files coming out in the future, hopefully soon. Pam Bondi has 30 days to get them out, and I know everyone keeps saying that we're probably not going to see much. However, I think what you guys need to remember is that a lot of these files were never meant to come out. So the redactions and the changes they would need to make need to be very quick. And imagine how many changes they have to do over 50,000 files. And not only that, but they're also so stupid, or they assume we're so dumb that we can't draw simple connections, which we've been able to do with just what we've been given. So even though they're probably going to come out redacted, missing pieces, there's no doubt that we can, you and me, can very much at least draw some conclusions similar to what we've drawn from what we've gotten.
Yeah.
To be honest,
100%.
a lot of smart people have put their hands in this pot and are coming up with some stuff. I've seen a lot of things online where, we're not the only ones going through the files. There's a lot of people are getting some juicy stuff. So 50,000 is a lot. Maybe the reason they're doing it in 2 batches is, a lot of people went through these and we're like, okay, now we'll release 50K and less people will go through them. I don't know.
Yeah. Also, we're about to hit 10,000 followers, Doug. 10,000 followers.
We're about to hit 10,000 followers. About to hit 300 on YouTube, 100 on Spotify, 100 on Rumble. So, yes.
Just want to say we appreciate all the support, all the donations you guys have been sending in to our coffee link, and really just wanted to say that. Just appreciate y'all.
Yes. Thank you all for your support. It keeps us going. We probably would not have made as so many Epstein videos past the first
If you
Every
guys
time the
weren't
files
so
drop.
vocal about it.
Yeah.
And all
Yeah.
the personal messages y'all have been sending us.
Yeah, so we'll stay on it. The 50K, we're looking forward to it now. now
Oh,
now
yeah.
we're looking forward to it. We're gonna drop
For
one
sure.
every single day once those bastards drop. So be ready.
Just get ready for it. Yep.